speaking on the 6 Joker cards in our faith, which is the Dark Carnival. And basically to get a little history of what started the Dark Carnival is, I have the history of i.c.p. through Joe Bruce's Eyes, which is Violent J. And the language is a little bit graphic, but the story is pretty good. It says, I stared intently through the open bedroom door out into the dark hallway that led to my living room. I almost expected to see something because a strange feeling seemed to be coming from there. Suddenly a dark shadow walked into view. I was so scared I could hardly move or breathe, and I knew what it was right away. It was a clown from my dreams. Even though I couldn't make out any of its features, its outlines, down to its jester's hat, was exactly the same. Its form was as if it was made of some kind of jet black substance. I wanted to scream and jump out of my apartment window. If I could have only moved, I probably would have done just that. I can still remember exactly how I felt back then. It was as if it were happening to me now as I write this. I am not sure what happened next, but I think I must have passed out. That moment is still lost to me. The next thing I realized in my mind, I was at a carnival of some kind, but not really because I couldn't hear or feel anything. This carnival was massive, and everything was larger than life. There were roller coaster tracks that were high as they disappeared into the clouds. There was a house of mirrors that must have been 20 stories tall. This carnival was completely surrounding me on all sides, and it was twisted and strange as fuck. Standing not 10 feet away was this clown who I had seen many times in my dreams, but this time he looked all too real as he sat staring back at me. He had white and black clown makeup on in a strange pattern. He wore a blue and pink jester's hat and clown suit with big clown shoes and white gloves. He held in his left hand a deck of giant playing cards. Each one was a joker's card like you might see in a normal deck of cards. He began dropping them one at a time to the ground while staring at me. As he did, I felt a dread that began to overcome me. As each card dropped, the feeling became worse for me. The horror intensified. Once I noticed that he was almost out of cards dropped. What happens then, I thought. He was talking to me, but I could not hear one word he said. I could tell he was saying something crazy. I could feel his words more than I could hear them. Suddenly, just before he dropped the last card, I found myself shooting upwards, high above everything. I was looking down on the massive carnival as I flew high up and higher, so high I could see the carnival was headed to a town. Then suddenly, all I could see slowly faded. It got blurry and then went black. Even though all I could see was blackness, I didn't exactly wake up just then. I still was out and I couldn't see nothing. I could, however, suddenly hear everything. It started off low, then it got louder and louder, then loud as all get out. All I could hear was screams and sounds of chaos, people dying and bizarre laughing. It got mega loud, but I saw nothing. Suddenly I woke up crazy tripping. Could this have only been a crystal clear dream that was so powerful that it alone would eventually somehow lead to the actual creation of all this, us, and all that is the juggalo wide world of clowns? I began to realize that either I was chosen for a grand purpose in this world, or I had gone completely insane. I believe in God, and I feel that the vision I had was His will. It is because of this belief that I feel that through our music, we can reach out to people who are in need of help, people whose souls are being corrupted beyond return from the evils of this world. I believe that our music, with its apparently violent and extreme outwardly appearance, has the power to attract and draw in people who are lost from God. Then they can hear its deeper, truer purpose, that you should strive to enter Shangri-La or heaven and not become lost in hell's pit.
Whoop, whoop.
Each clown face are 6 Joker cards inspired by my vision for each of the 6 albums, each one with a clown face on the cover. Each clown face would be a prophet of the newly arrived and named Dark Carnival. Each, in effect, would be holding up a mirror to people to show them something wicked about themselves so they could change. After all 6 prophets showed up, then it would be time for the Dark Carnival to surface on the mortal earth, like the apocalypse. In what form will it surface, we will have to wait and see. That sounded like a plan to me. Whatever you say, my spirit ninjas. I feel there is magic in i.c.p's music that goes way beyond my creative abilities and is brought through the powers by the powers of beyond. Now, that's how he came to get the 6 cards. And the 6 cards are, we start out with Carnival of Carnage, and that was the first, on the cover is the first, Carnival of Carnage is the Joker that he described. Carnival is our first prophet, as most religions would call him. We look to them the same. You would find paths. We look to them as you would to find our path, and no matter what it be. We all have different paths and different markers, so there are many paths for you, and they may not be the same as mine. And that's just basically the carnival itself. The ringmaster is like the gatekeeper in more well-known religions. He's the vision that you see that shows you if you're walking the path and if you're fulfilling the plans that are meant for you. In Christianity, he would be like St. Peter. He is who you see when you look towards the carnival for guidance in the right way to walk in order to honor your vow to enter Shangri-La. The old custom of paying the ferryman with 2 coins comes into play here with one of the prayers that we adopted. It mentions placing two matches on our feet. And I view that as a sign that we've already walked the hell on this earth, so we're ready for Shangri-La. The riddle box represents judgment and decision in our carnival. In Christianity, it would be like the book of life. The riddle box is just as it sounds, judgment in a box. This prophet gives you no chance to beg or plead. You turn the crank, and then you see where the end will take you. The great Malenko. The Malenko is our tempter. In Christianity, it's like the devil. On the red road, he'd be the coyote. In older religions, he'd be like Loki. He tries to get the worst in the world to come out and take over. We do our best in this life to fight this one with all our might because he's trying to pull us to hell's pit. Then you have the amazing Jekyll brothers. This is 2 in 1 with Jake and Jack Jekyll. They juggle orbs, also seen as our sins in this life. The more evil we do in this life, the more orbs they have. If they happen to drop one of these sins, it's a bad sign. In a dream I had, one of these sins was dropped, and I'm still haunted because of something I can never accept as something I did. These 2 brothers are the most important in my eyes due to the fact that we can pull their image and signs from everyday life. The Wraith. The Wraith is the final figure we see after our soul departs and we go to our resting place. There are 2 forms we see, either with the palms up, welcoming, or his palms out in the side of forebodings. The Wraith we see is a hooded figure kind of like the typical death figure. The welcoming form is a good sign you're out to Shangri-La. If you see the palm out, Wraith, your life was not the best and you're off to the endless time of torment and pain. And basically, these 6 are what we try and live by, and each song on there has a different meaning for each one of us that we listen to. And it helps us to discover who we are and keep us on the right path to honor vows that we've made in our lives to be a better person and to be all that we can be and get to Shangri-La, because that's where we all want to end up and party for the rest of our lives, you know. So that's the 6, and that's how the 6 came about. So thank you for your time.